sleeping with me. Why? I'm pregnant again. Why?
You was sleeping with somebody else,
Yes,
man,
you
then
do.
you got low
You,
self-esteem.
I know you're not
Ladies,
talking.
ladies,
I know you
you guys want to hear the case?
Let's get some
Instead of you
order.
finding out who your
Let's
fucking
get
neighbor
some
is,
order.
you know what?
What you want?
Nobody did anything to you, honey.
I don't care. Miss
Nobody
Philly do nothing to me, but I don't like you.
Hey,
Stop talking to me then.
Nobody. That's you owe one.
No, excuse me.
You know you slept with somebody else.
Miss
And
Hooker.
Girl,
Miss Hooker.
Stop talking about it.
No.
She slept with 7 other men within her conception window. Mr. DeLeon has had it up to here with Ms. Ramirez. She claims he is the father of her 2 babies. However, this man is not having it. Mr. DeLeon accuses Ms. Ramirez of continuous infidelity.
Ms. Ramirez, take me back to the circumstances that you found out you were pregnant with your first child.
Well, at the time, just to say right now, Your Honor, that I'm very disappointed in Gilbert for everything. Gilbert was homeless at the time when I first met him, and I asked my mom if he can move in with us, and she said yes.
Oh, what a way to start the case. Looks like this is one of those situations where the woman was with him from the very beginning. He smokes weed too? Looks like Mr. DeLeon is not exactly the picture-perfect, done-no-wrong father he's claiming to be.
At the time, when me and Gilbert were together, we got in a big argument. I left and I met someone else, an old friend, slept with him, went back to Gilbert a few days later, and I let him know that I was pregnant and the baby may not be his. And I gave him that option either to stay or to go. And he decided—
Excuse me, I find that incorrect.
Whoa, hold up. These two are just gearing up to be so chaotic. Ms. Ramirez went ahead to sleep with a random old friend simply because she got into an argument with her partner? Who even does that?
Are the dates of conception for your child in?
Yes, ma'am.
In yellow is outlined the dates that you had intimate relations with Mr. De Leon.
Yes, ma'am.
The other color outlines the dates you were intimate with a friend.
Yes, ma'am.
And this entire time is the estimated dates of—
Oh my goodness, what is going on? She color-coded the dates of her intimacy? This woman shot herself in the leg just to prove a point. So she was with her husband for just 3 days and with other men for 4 solid days. What a woman. Now, does Mr. DeLeon know about the details, or is this news to him too?
I actually had to find out on my own. She didn't tell me that she was having intimate relationships with other people. And at the same time, I would ask her, is everything okay? Do you love me? Do you don't love me? And she would tell me yes. You know, nothing else is going on until I found text messages on her phone about another guy stating, you know, hey,
What a woman. He found out about all of this completely by himself after snooping through her phone. So she lied about it too? The least she could do when he caught on to her lies is admit that she has been cheating on him. But this woman lied? Would you look at that?
and caught her red-handed.
So at that point, you knew that you may or may not be Ian's father.
Yes, that's when I began having
And
my
then
doubts
he
about
decided
paternity.
But it
to
wasn't
stay.
the voluntary disclosure that Ms. Ramirez suggests.
When she found out that she was pregnant, she told me I was the dad.
Oh, so now Ms. Ramirez is asking why he doubts paternity. It seems to make no sense to the woman. The thing is, Ms. Ramirez, if a man does not trust you because you slept with 7 men during your conception window, they tend to not accept the preceding baby. That's simply how the world works.
So I took it upon myself and brought her into the home. Well, at that point in time, that she went off and told me that my friend ended up touching her on the leg and say, hey, let's go to the room. She came down and ran to me and told me, hey, he's doing this, I don't like this. 2 weeks later, I find out she ends up having sex with him.
With your roommate?
Yes, and how I found out that, I got off work.
Oh, wow. So he did find out all by himself. My goodness, what a woman. In addition to all of this, they have 2 babies together at different intervals. Why do these 2 have babies together even after such bickering between them?
I hear a lot of women stand in my courtroom and they're always saying, well, the reason why I did this or the reason why I did that is because they were working. Now, that's a good thing that he's working.
Okay.
Especially when he has 2 children to support.
Yes, ma'am.
And a family, so what was wrong with that?
Whoa, just 2? She slept with him just because? This woman deserves a medal for being such a shitty person. How do you cheat on your husband with the most random men while he's out working, trying to support the family, and your excuse is just because? Why don't you get yourself out of the house and work too, Ms. Ramirez?
We hadn't talked for a couple of months because we got in an argument. I get a call from her stating, hey, I'm pregnant. And I'm like, okay, why does that concern me? You know, she's like, it's your kid. And I was like, how is it my kid when you've slept with so many other guys? How do I know it's mine? And she's like, well, I want you to be here in the hospital.
Isn't that something? After the serial cheating and everything else Ms. Ramirez put this man through, he kept taking her back. God knows why. He showed up at the hospital too for both births. What a guy. Now he's doubtful of the paternity of the kids. Rightfully so too. To settle this mess of a case, the results are ready, and here they are.
When it comes to 2-year-old Ian, Mr. De Leon are his father.
Mr. McRae is out to prove this woman wrong. He claims the baby, saying she switched up on him and is suddenly denying him of his baby. Ms. Moore, however, is not having any of this. She says her baby belongs to her husband. What a case.
Mr. McRae, until she was 10 months old, you were her
Father.
father.
Yes, ma'am.
Tell me about that.
I changed her, I played with her, I fed her, and I just missed that. I want something that's my own, and she knew that.
He did not change her.
He never changed the
No,
baby?
he did
you're
not
saying?
change her because he was like, he's not gonna change no girl. He did not change her, didn't play with her.
Were you all in a relationship?
What a guy. He did all of that, or didn't he? These two definitely broke up for a reason. They really cannot seem to agree on anything. Now, they brought their chaotic relationship to paternity court. Is Mr. McRae taking us on a wild bus ride, or is he telling the truth?
When she was pregnant, and she told me she was pregnant, I just looked in shock, like, what? Really?
Well, were you having sex?
Oh yeah, almost.
Were you using protection?
Nah,
Well, then why were you so shocked?
because I was told I was able to have children.
Oh my goodness. So if he's really convinced that he's not able to have children, then why is he so convinced that this baby is his? Does he really want a baby that bad? And what is wrong with these two? Is there anything they both would say yes to?
At the time you signed this, you had no doubt you were the biological father?
I had no doubt.
So, Ms. Moore, why is his name listed as the legal father on her birth certificate if you say you knew he was not the biological
Because
father?
while I was drugged up in the hospital, he had signed the paper.
Well, wait a minute, why is he even at the
I
hospital
told
then?
him not to come. He said only way he would leave.
Wait, what is going on here? Ms. Moore just keeps shooting herself continuously in the leg. He was so doting and at the hospital as well? Where is your husband and the so-called real father of the baby in all of this, Ms. Moore?
You cut the umbilical cord.
Yes, because
Yeah, he cut it, but he was sitting on the side.
Well, wait a minute, Ms.
Because-
Moore. Now, hold on, because I
See-
know, wait a minute, I've been a mother in a hospital. Now, if this is not your husband, you weren't married to him, right? And you say you didn't believe he was the biological father of this child.
That's right. Why wasn't her husband at the hospital? If Mr. McRae was able to be present for the delivery and cut the umbilical cord even though Ms. Moore was completely against it like she so explicitly stated, what then was her husband doing and why didn't?
And it looks like she's
Having
doing the
fun.
airplane with her daddy.
she threw up on me after that.
That is definitely a consequence of the airplane that daddies often learn. But this is a beautiful picture.
Thank you.
Now, Ms. Moore, at this time, when this picture was taken,
And
had
she
you
took the picture.
told?
Okay, Ms. Moore. So he broke into your house to take those pictures? Look at this woman making it seem like she did not take those pictures herself. If you did object to it, they wouldn't exist. Now, Mr. McRae and Ms. Moore are saying two separate things. Oh, isn't that just shocking?
After she kicked me out, she moved the other guy in the day of she kicked me out.
Not the very next day, and the other guy is my husband, and I knew since I was 5 years old.
I've never seen this.
Whoa, she did what? Kicked one man out for another one? Ms. Moore really moved her boyfriend out so her husband could move in with her. Were they married at the time? What does it matter if you've known him since you were 5 years old? That's still cheating, Ms. Moore.
Because I know for a fact. I know. Everyone was telling me. People that didn't know me, and people that did know me. I don't care what y'all think, because y'all wasn't there when I was there. You don't know what I was going through. So I'm gonna believe what I believe.
I mean, when you cut a child's umbilical cord, when you are there at the birth of a child and you think that child is yours, you formed a bond, whether anybody likes it or not.
Poor guy. All he wants is his little girl. Or is it his? It's understandable that he would feel this way. Ms. Moore allowed that bond to be built between them from the very start. What do you mean you watched the baby come out and cut the umbilical cord? Then he signed the birth certificate too? Oh, please.
Another man's name, aside from just the fact of the last name that I want her to have of mine on this piece of paper.
Let me say this, Mr. Moore, and it's your wife and you love her and I'm glad y'all in a relationship.
Okay.
But Ms. Moore, you're not fooling me. I don't know where you were, but I know you were in a relationship when this baby was born.
Oh, yes, yes, yes. Right now, Judge Lake has Ms. Moore right where she needs her. The whole story about how Mr. McRae was kicked out of her house and she was not involved in anything with him seems like such a farce. Who are you trying to fool, Ms. Moore? To sum it all up, we get the results.
Biological father is Mr. more. He is the biological father.
Yes, ma'am.
Can you accept that?
I could have said it hurt.
I know.
But I gotta move on. She's still pretty to me.
Of course she is.
Because I was in foster care.
While he was away, his partner, Ms. Monroe, decided to invite her ex-lover to crash at their place. Mustafa Matlock is our main character, and he had to leave town for a bit. Well, talk about a chaotic case. Fast forward to Mustafa's return, and Ms. Monroe drops the bombshell that she's not so sure about the paternity of her child.
She knew I was back and forth from Fort Smith to Fayetteville because I have a son down in that area. Back in '07, I was down there for a week.
No, you said
Yeah,
you,
no, it was
you
a
said
week.
you were going to be
No,
gone a weekend and you were gone a month.
It was a week. You're
you
lying.
Were gone a
it
month.
was a week.
You were gone a month.
Anyway, Your Honor,
You were gone a month.
when I was gone for a week,
No, you're gone
A week?
month.
she moved her ex into...
Well, ain't that a kicker? Ms. Monroe is laying it all out there, no sugarcoating whatsoever. Can you believe it? She's spinning it like Mustafa should be thanking her for being upfront about the whole messy situation. I mean, talk about turning things on their head.
How long?
He originally told me he'd be gone for a weekend.
She's lying, Your Honor. She is telling a bold-faced lie, Your Honor.
Anyway.
She knew
I'm
she
listening
was,
to her story.
Your Honor, she knew
I'm
she was going to move that man
listening
in.
to her
You don't just
story.
move a man in within 1 week
I'm
unless you have
listening to her
plans to do
story
that.
now.
She probably was
Ms.
doing it from the
Monroe.
beginning.
Mr. Matlock's not holding back either. He's firing back, especially with the line of him not feeling the need to be glued to the phone chatting with Ms. Monroe while he was spending quality time with his son. And honestly, who can blame him?
You
Call
should
her
still have
every
to talk to
waking
me if
minute,
I'm your
'cause
girlfriend. You
she's
should care.
jealous about.
You
she
should
got
care.
jealous
I'm
thinking
not-
I'm sleeping with
If you would have gave me a
every
reason,
woman
then I
on
wouldn't
the
have
block.
jealousy issues.
Let's get some order. Ms. Monroe, when he went out of town, did he voluntarily call you at all while he
No.
was gone?
Lies.
Maybe,
Not one
Lies.
call.
maybe 2 or 3 times, like.
Well, phew. Ms. Monroe sure doesn't waste any time. So Mr. Matlock's sister drops the bombshell that Ms. Monroe is pregnant. Can you imagine the shock on his face? So, he does what any guy would do. He straight up asks her who the baby daddy is. What a duo.
Baby
on
daddy.
it,
right?
She
And
looked
what did
at
she
me
say?
and
I was
said,
on it.
"You're not the father." Real talk. Can't make it up. That's what she said. You are not the father. So, I'm not taking care of somebody else's baby, and you tell me that that baby is not my baby.
So once you heard that,
Out.
The way that this woman thinks is quite funny, really. Right when her ex moves in, bam, she's pregnant. It's definitely an eyebrow-raising coincidence. And then Mr. Matlock really is throwing in his 2 cents, saying the kid could belong to anyone, even Jerome. Haha.
But
a beautiful
at the
little
same
girl.
time, I don't think it's my baby.
I don't care
Don't
what
think it's
you
my
think.
baby.
so you don't think
What?
the child looks like you? You don't,
Man,
you
that
don't
could be
feel any
Jerome's
attachment?
baby.
You
She
talking
would-
about this Jerome?
That Jerome.
Jerome!
No, it's not mine.
She looked a little dark to be his baby.
Oops. Well, if that isn't such a truth bomb, once you drop that bombshell and tell a guy he's not the father, there's no taking it back. It's like ringing a bell. Once it's rung, you can't unring it. However, Ms. Monroe's flipping the script. She's doing a complete 180 and changing her tune about Mr. Matlock being the daddy. That's a queen right there. What a woman.
Her sister are friends.
Okay.
So I call her sister every New Year's. Happy New Year's. What's up? First thing out of sister's mouth was, "What's up is you need to check on your daughter." I didn't even know she had a girl. Matter of fact, when the baby was born,
Whoa. So despite his doubts about being the dad, he's throwing out child support for this kid. But here's the thing. If he gets a Facebook message from the other guy Ms. Monroe was seeing about another potential baby daddy in the mix, how in the world did Mr. Matlock end up on the hook for child support for a kid he's not even sure is his?
Put him on child support so
no,
he could
no,
get
no.
it.
We
Yes,
wanted to get a
yes,
DNA test
shut
done
up.
because
No,
she didn't want to
that's
get
not
the
what
DNA
happened.
test done. It's
You
been
wanted to take me on, Lori.
3 or 4 years, and she didn't never want to know who the father of this child was. So let's get it done. She put me
I
on
tried
child
to call
support.
you from the
They
hospital.
Sent me. They
I tried to
sent
call
me.
you from the
You
hospital.
ain't do a good job. I called them.
Wait a minute, what's this we're hearing? She really didn't want a DNA test done? It's almost like she already knew the paternity of her baby girl was fishy from day one. That explains how Mr. Matlock feels sabotaged. It's like this woman knew from the very beginning that the baby is not his.
Established now, you're paying child support in the amount of $360 a month.
Yeah,
For a child you still don't know whether it's yours or not.
exactly. First baby.
How is this affecting your life?
Oh, it ruined my marriage.
How so?
When my wife found out that they had taken child support out for a baby.
Now please cut to the chase. Today's the day we finally put an end to all this drama. It's DNA test time. We're about to find out once and for all who the real dad is. This is the moment of truth, because there's no more beating around the bush. Judge Lake reads out the truth.
Adopt.
I knew it! Go find your baby daddy. Put somebody else on child support. I want my money back. I want my money back. I told you I wasn't the father of that child. Knew it from the beginning. Trifling. Knew it. I knew it.
She's a serial cheater and liar. This is what Mr. Andrews is in court to proclaim at the top of his lungs. They broke off their relationship of 8 years because Mr. Andrews does not trust that he is the father of their 1-year-old baby.
Pregnated another female while he was living with me. So I moved to Kansas and got away from him. We then started our relationship back, and I had planned on having another child with him.
Would you look at that? So Mr. Andrews is not the only victim here. He also cheated on her, and even worse, got the other woman pregnant. Now he addresses the baby differently too, after doing the exact same thing. What a couple.
And the same person who I see this text message from is the same guy who she was having an affair with all along from the whole get-go. So when I seen that text message, my whole thought process was, it's gotta be his baby.
What did you read in them?
I let you have it anytime.
Oops, he really did bring an exhibit. Look at him standing there, addressing the court like he's taking us to school. It's so funny that Ms. Hoddle did not deny any of the sexual text messages. Of course, your husband would remember what you told another man, word for word. It just makes sense.
Correct.
Who jumped out the window?
She did.
I was trying to get free from him.
But see, the whole
He's
thing
crazy.
is, she leave the house every time. It's always when a private call comes, or it's after 3 a.m. That's the only time he able to get away from his wife, so-called.
What?
It was that's it.
Wait a minute. So she gets a private call.
Right.
Then she leaves the house.
What a mess. Just take a look at these two with their drama. What do you mean you jumped out of the window by 3 a.m.? What sort of couple is this? If she got out of the house like that because her husband barricaded the door, that's another issue.
Barricading my front door.
Where were you going?
I was going to find comfort.
Whoa. So listen to this. If Ms. Hadel is jumping out of the window by 3 a.m. to find comfort and Mr. Andrews keeps seeking comfort in other women's uteruses, why exactly are these two in a relationship in the first place? They honestly need to part ways so that each individual can be comforted appropriately.
But she know I'm the one who take my daughter to daycare every morning. I'm the one get the dress, take daycare every morning. Little dirty people couldn't even take the condom and throw it away.
If you found a condom in the car.
So wait.
I showed you.
It was a dirty condom?
It was a dirty condom. It wasn't just a
I don't agree with that because I didn't see it. He didn't show me nothing.
Now, what really is this mess? Ms. Hadel looked way too smug with that response. Your husband saw a box of condoms in the car that he did not put there, then goes on to accuse you of cheating, and you say there's no proof because he didn't see a dirty condom. Somebody give Ms. Hadel the side eye too.
He's insecure about it because he's
No, I
cheated
ain't
and he's made all
insecure.
these babies.
No, I'm not.
So he
I
wants to
see
throw all the
proof.
blame on me.
I see
But
proof.
I'm
She feel like I can't read.
Excuse me, I'm a grown
And I've been to
woman
3 different
and I'll
colleges.
take
And she
take
knows I
the
can
fault
read.
for what
She
I
would take
did.
a text message
but
and turn the text message
He's
straight
got
around.
text messages too.
Okay, but
I'm
I
not
don't
bringing that
I
up.
don't
It's not
turn
about
around,
that.
though.
It's about Amarella knowing who her daddy is, and I know who her daddy
Okay, you
is.
said two other
act like
guys
you don't.
was, and you said two other guys was.
What exactly is going on here? These two are acting like toddlers. Truly, if this is how they're acting in paternity court, how wild is it going to be at home? Even Judge Lake has had enough of these two. Sucks to be the poor baby going home with them, honestly.
So 8 months pregnant, I find out there's another female pregnant in the same town that we're living in. I'm about to give birth a month later. He was there, got to see this first child born out of whatever 6 or 7 children that he does have. This is the first child that he got to see born. So that was very special for him and me as well, having him there.
He did what? How come this woman stayed with him after having not 1, not 2, but 3 known children outside their relationship? If he's having so many kids outside their relationship, I ask again, why are these two still in this relationship? What's the point, really?
There's a man
I've never been
who you
sexual
know
with
I
this
had
person.
contact with. They had physical contact with over this situation.
Because he's delusional.
And then as soon as I
He thinks I've
leave,
been
you
sexual
had
with
this
this
man
person.
at the house where I just left from.
He's delusional.
And then you showed me on the phone like, ha ha. When you know.
They just keep going at it. Oh, just look at them go. All of this bickering, and it's so sad to see that they came to paternity court to continue the usual back and forth instead of showing up for the actual business of the day, the baby girl whose paternity is in question. Let's wrap this up.
Mr. Andrews, you are the father. You have tears in your eyes. How do you feel in this moment?
I love her regardless. It's my daughter. sister. So
Today, we have two mothers in court. Both of them are going at each other's necks with all the weapons you can imagine. Ms. Montoya took her son to court to prove that Ms. Brown's baby is not his, but she only wants something else from them. You heard that right? Looks like his mom is basically in charge of the case and he's just there for moral support.
I didn't know that Gregory was such a mother's boy and that I was dealing with his mother.
How am I a mother's boy?
I would be dealing with his mother more than him. I didn't lay with her, I laid with him. It ended when we were supposed to, we had a conversation and...
Well, whoops. Take a good look at how the case started. What a woman. She really started by calling him a mama's boy. Now, it makes sense that these two are no longer together. Could this have been the reason they even broke up in the first place? Let's find out.
He didn't return my call for days later after I left California.
No, you
You called me
didn't.
3 days that I made it into Oklahoma.
No, you
contacted
didn't.
me.
No, you didn't.
And you said,
No,
where
you
are you and what you doing?
Look at that. Already there was so much chaos in their relationship. One can only imagine being in a relationship where one party is talking to their ex, still, and the other is not showing up for their own promises. Looks like I'm on the mom's side because these two definitely need closure.
Intimate with Mr. Sensabaugh.
Yes, ma'am.
In red is outlined the dates you were traveling, and then in blue indicates which days you were intimate with your ex.
Yes, Your Honor.
Which is potential father number 2. So yeah, that's doubt.
Okay, here we go. Ms. Montoya keeps insisting that Ms. Brown did not mention anything to her about traveling to Oklahoma by road. Ms. Brown, on the other hand, is saying that she told Mr. Sensabaugh. That's fine, Ms. Montoya. Last time I checked, Ms. Brown was dating Mr. Sensabaugh and not you.
If I was in California, I would have let them visit her and stuff. But it was his lifestyle that I was scared of.
That's not true
Of her
either.
letting him
That's
leave
not
with
true
him
either.
and something happening to my child.
That's
I
not
love
true
all my
either.
children equally and dearly.
That's not true
And it
either,
would've
because
just
regardless
been not
of it,
right to-
like I explained to you.
Whoops. Now the cat is out of the bag. There's a dangerous lifestyle associated with Mr. Sensabaugh. Perhaps that led to his almost death experience as well? Who knows? Now that is not the environment to leave a baby in. So who can really blame Ms. Brown? Phew, what a case.
And that's the lifestyle that I didn't want to let my daughter leave with.
You was messing with him at the time of his lifestyle.
It don't matter. My kids was nowhere involved, unattended with this man.
Well, Your Honor, I almost lost my life. I got shot 6 times. I got shot in the head, in the arm, in the back, in the butt. I got shot. So after that...
That is intense. He got shot 6 times at a go? What a hell of a near-death experience. One would expect this man to be in court with a wheelchair. Phew, now that is definitely not the place to leave a baby. Whether or not Ms. Montoya is present does not matter really. And why exactly is Ms. Montoya so present in these two's relationship? She's the third person in their relationship at this point.
I don't know. I don't know what to feel. I just want the truth to come out.
And another reason is because the baby looked like it favors me. So I was just thinking why I can't be in my child's life if that's my child? It looked like me.
Mr. Sensabaugh, if Malaya is your biological child.
Well, isn't that precious? Ms. Montoya is getting emotional just thinking about the whole thing. Now, Mr. Sensabaugh confesses that he would love to be in the child's life if the baby ends up as his. Hopefully, one would imagine that whatever lifestyle Mr. Sensabaugh had in the past would have ended with the 6 bullet wounds he has. This must not spill into the life of this baby.
I got an email in the middle of the night.
And what did the results say?
That there was 0 probability of paternity.
0?
0.
But then what happens on week 14?
Week 14, I get told by my son that she said she lied.
Whoa, my goodness. This case keeps getting more chaotic by the minute. What do you mean she already got a DNA test done? What do you mean it came back with a 0% paternity link to Mr. Sensabaugh? What do you mean she swabbed one of her other kids instead? What is this mess?
So here we are, we have still a child up in the air, and that's what brings us here to paternity court.
Do you hope she's your grandchild?
I don't know, because I don't know if I want to deal with her.
You don't have to deal with me.
All right, ma'am. Thank you for your very honest, brutally honest testimony.
Ding, ding, ding. Now we're talking. Of course, that's why they broke up. Having an external party in any relationship is always a bad idea, especially when that external party is his mother and there's a child already in that relationship. Now let's wrap this up and get to the results.
Mr. Sensabaugh, you are not her father. Ms. Brown, you look relieved. Ms. Montoya, you look crushed.
It's not about being crushed.
At the end of the day, I really want him to go on with his life, get married.
This next case is as chaotic as it gets. 57-year-old Mr. Henderson and 56-year-old Ms. Brown were involved in a steamy summer romance some years back. Now Ms. Brown is in paternity court with her 32-year-old son, Rodell. They are here to prove that this hot romance resulted in Rodell being conceived.
I was living in Jersey City when I met Mr. Henderson at a bar. Mr. Henderson was a DJ. Mr. Henderson came to the bar and told me that I had some sexy eyes, some beautiful eyes. By him being a charming, very good looking, Your Honor, we got contact with each other. We started dating. We have a sex relationship, Your Honor.
Now look how Mr. Henderson denies it fervently, saying the most ridiculous things in the process. He calls Miss Brown just another lady on his team. Mr. Henderson has never met Rodell, is not interested in doing so, and he never will be. At this point, Ms. Brown basically dragged him out to paternity court.
Yes.
It's not true.
Yes, it's true. It's true. Mr. Henderson was the only man that I was seeing in the state of New Jersey at the time. I had no chance of being with no other man but Mr. Henderson.
Your Honor, that's not true.
That's true.
Me and Miss Brown,
is true.
we were
It
never
is true.
dating. We were never dating.
The way he denies every single thing she says so strongly, this woman would begin to doubt any of these things happened if she were not there to experience it herself. What a man. Really. So now he adds that he does not want any committed relationship at this point in his life, and he definitely does not need any children, seeing that he has a lot of them already.
The time when she said she got pregnant, I wasn't even dating her, and I always used protection when I was with her because I was sleeping with multiple partners. So why would I do that?
All right, so you say you got a team.
Well, I had a team. Yes,
So
she was just
what
one
you're
member of the team, and
so-
she got a cut slip. She knew about it. She knew I had a lot of females.
What you're saying is...
Oh, so she did know what she was getting herself into. Isn't that just something? Couple of the year, these two. If you think you've heard the most ridiculous part of this case, you haven't seen anything yet. Here is how Mr. Dreamman Henderson found out that Ms. Brown was pregnant.
Because one day I was outside the club, I was walking down the street, and I seen her sister. She said to me, "You know, Linda's pregnant." I said, "If so, it ain't my baby," because I had cut her off the team a long time ago.
Why he said
So I don't know how she gonna say it's my baby. But then she told me
that he wanted them to take.
Just look at this chaos. These two lost contact for 32 years, came back to paternity court, and are getting down to scream at one another like they're back in time 32 years ago. What a beautiful couple.
Your Honor, one thing I have to say is, like, my grandmother raised me. I mean, like, I made different, you know what I'm saying, choices in my life that led to me joining gangs because I ain't have no father in my life. And it hurt. You know what I'm saying? My mom, she was there, but she wasn't in the house like she was supposed to. So if I would have had a father in my life teaching me, like, to do things.
After they both came to a conclusion that he indeed saw Rodell as a baby and cut his hair too, Mr. Henderson began to insist once again that he was using protection and Rodell is not his biological son. Well, is this a sign? Only the paternity results can truly tell.
So in this picture, you're about the same age that Mr. Brown is now.
Right.
All right.
Do y'all see this, Emma? Come on now. Good looking son like this.
He is a good looking young man. I just never saw him before.
Yeah, but you saw him at the age of 2.
Well, if you'd have stayed where you were supposed to stay, we would know.
I wasn't
and he
supposed
would have
to
been
stay
in my
in Jersey.
life.
Oh, these people need to realize that the semblance card never works. We just have to get the results. And what's Mr. Henderson saying about her not staying in the right place? He literally just said today at paternity court that he is not interested and will never be interested in his potential son.
And that you're hurting. I really do. And truthfully, Mr. Henderson, I can understand a part of your doubt. I mean, if in your mind you thought you used protection and then someone tells you have a child, 5 months later they're gone and you don't hear from them anymore, a lot of people, if we're being very honest, many people would just say, oh, well, maybe that situation didn't materialize the way I thought and...
That's right. Nobody knows how bad it has been for Rodell. Imagine not knowing your father all your life, then coming to court and hearing all of this at a go. This entire thing would be so tough to literally have your happiness hanging in the balance and your entire life determined by an envelope in a courtroom.
Results come out that he is my father. I mean,
You do?
yes.
Me too.
That way we can move forward and he can be in my life and my kids' life.
And Mr. Henderson, what are your hopes?
My hopes is to get resolution today to find out if he's my son or not. I'm going to embrace him just as though I embraced him when he first got in contact with me and said he was my son. My arms are wide open.
Now, Mr. Henderson is having a soft spot for the boy. The hurtful things this man has said to Ms. Brown and her son in this courtroom are extremely alarming. The bickering has been super chaotic. Now we wait for results and see what we have.
Are not his
Oh, no!
I told you.
Oh, no. Oh, no. Oh, Lord. Oh, no. I'm not going to feel, I don't feel no remorse.